सरस्वती शिशुकुंज बकवाला बोर्ड सर English medium. Students, I hope you have enjoyed your Diwali vacation. So students, this is another offline video of standard 4th subject EVS. And students, in this video you will going to learn a revision of chapter number 13. And the chapter's name is a River's Tale. So students, in the previous online class, I explained what is the meaning of tale here. T-A-L-E, tale. So students, in this video, you will going to learn about a river's journey. From where the river begins. From which places it passes, and at the end of its journey whom the river meets, and during the river's journey which changes takes place. So students, all these things you have to learn in this video. So let us begin the video. Students, in the first page of chapter number 13, one picture is there. So students, you have to observe this picture carefully. So after observing this picture, do you find which things you can find in this picture? So all of you have to observe this picture carefully. And also you have to remember that which things you can find. Students, you can find lots of mountains. Then a river flows from a mountain. Students, as you know that most of the rivers, they start or originates from mountain by melting of snow. So this river is also starts or flows from a river. Then students, just observe this picture. Which are another things you can observe. So you can also see a lot of fish in the river. You can also see lots of green trees. But as the river flows, we can see animals. You can see also there. Then students, if we look further down where the river is flowing, you can see some small houses. It means that some people are living there, or some very small village is there. But students, if we can see very closely, you can see very closely that the number of fish, when the flowing through the village, you can see the number of fish are reduces. Means the number of fish are getting less in that area. So students, why this happens? Students, you can also observe that some villagers are washing clothes, some are washing their utensils, and some villagers are taking water in their houses. Students, what they are doing? So they are using river water for their household work. So students, when the river is passing through this village, you can see that the number of fish are getting reduced because of some activities like bathing of cattle, washing of clothes, then cleaning utensils, and also the throwing of garbage. All the villagers are doing these things. They are throwing all this impure water in the river, and when the fish drinks all this water, this is why the number of fish are reducing in this place. Then students, as the river moves forward, we can see lots of big tall buildings. Students, this thing also you can observe in this picture. So in this picture also you can see very tall and large buildings. We can also see some factories. You can also observe in this picture. So, what is the main work of factory? The factory manufactures many things. They make many things. Then, which are the other things we can see? We can see that as a river enters a city. When the river enters a city, you can also observe that a river enters the city, the number of fish have reduced. Whatever numbers of fishes were there in the village, when the river is flowing through the city, still the number of fish are reduced. You can also see a ship in the river, and from that ship, some liquid is also being mixed in the river water. So students, you can see that all these things, you can see factories, tall buildings, you can see a ship, liquid is also mixed in water. So by these activities, or human beings or people are polluting the river. That is why students, you can see a less number of fish or marine animals in the river during its journey. And at last, all the water of a river, it goes and meets the sea. So students, you can see that a river starts or originates from a mountain and it goes and meets the sea or ocean. And you have also observed that when the river originates from mountains, then its water was very clean and pure. But when it enters into village, then in city, so the water becomes impure or polluted. So students, this thing you have to learn in this chapter, a river's tale. So students, this was the story of a river's tale. Students, by this story, some questions are being asked in your textbook. So students, let me give you answer of those questions. So students, first question is that what is the color of water from where the river begins? So students, the answer is the water is colorless. So from where the river begins, the water was colorless and clean. It was colorless and clean at the place where the river begins. Then students, your next question is, at which places did the color of the water in the river change? At which places the color of the water changes? Why did this happen? What is the reason of this? So students, let me give you answer that when the river passes the city, chemical and other waste from industries. Students, you have also observed that the river originates, its water was very pure and fresh. But when it passes through the city, its color changes. So, when it passes through the city, chemical and other waste from industries and factories, they dissolve in its water. Dissolve means they throw all these chemical and other types of water waste they are throwing or mixing the water in the river water. Liquid waste from people's houses also reaches the river through gutters. Whatever liquid waste is there in your houses also reaches the river water by gutters. Due to all this dirt getting mixed up with river water, its color changes. So students, let us look at the answer again. First, what is the color of water from the river begins? So the answer is the water is colorless and clean at the place where the river begins. And second number question is, at which places did the color of the water in the river changes? Why did this happen? And the answer is, when the river passes the city, chemical and other waste from industries and factories dissolves in its water. Liquid waste from people's houses also reaches the river through gutters. Due to all this dirt getting mixed up with river water, its color changes. So students, these are the answers of question number 1 and 2. Now students, observing the same picture, you have to give some more answer of the questions again. So students, the third question is there, it is also in your textbook, that which of the places shown in the pictures would you like to live in? Why? So the answer is, I or you would like to live on the banks of the river at a place before it reaches the village. This is because the river water is pure here and the village is also nearby. So students, at which places do you like to live? So at that place before the river reaches the village. So at that place you would like to live in. Why? Because when the river reaches the village or city, its water gets polluted. That is why you would like to live in the place before it reaches the village. Then students, the next question is, if you wanted to drink some water, from which part of the river would you like to drink and why? So students, the answer is, you would like to drink water from the part where the river starts or begins. This is because there are almost no impurities, because the river water is clean and fresh without pollution in the river water at the place where it starts. So the water is clean and pure. Students, let me repeat the answer again. You would like to drink water from the part where the river starts. This is because there are almost no impurities in river water at the place where it starts. So the water is clean and pure. So students, look at the answer again. Third number question. Which of the places shown in the picture would you like to live in and why? So students, the answer is, I or you would like to live on the banks of the river at a place before it reaches the village. Why? This is because the river water is pure. So before the river reaches the village, its water is pure and the village is also nearby. So because of this reason, you would like to live in place before the river reaches the village. Then the next question is, if you wanted to drink some water, from which part of the river would you like to drink and why? So the answer is, I or you would like to drink water from the part where the river starts or where the river originates. This is because there are almost no impurities in river water and the place where it starts. So when there is no impurities in river water, so the water is clean and pure. So that is why you would would like to drink some water from the part of the river where the river originates or river starts. Next, the next question is, what could be done to keep our rivers clean? Discuss. So students, which steps we have to take to keep our rivers clean? So the answer is, the following things can be done to keep our rivers clean. Which are the things we can do? First, clothes should not be washed in river water. Utensils should not be cleaned, and cattle, means animals, should not be bathed. And second point is, river banks should not be used as toilets. Then sewage water or other dirty water should not be discarded or thrown in rivers. Then the last point is, liquid and chemical waste of factories and industries should not be discarded or mixed in river or any other water bodies. So students, if we take these many steps, then and then we can keep our rivers clean. Students, let us look at the answer again. The question is, what could be done to keep rivers clean? Discuss. So students, the following things can be done to keep our rivers clean. Which are they? First, clothes should not be washed in river water. Utensils should not be cleaned, and kettles should not be bathed. Second point, river banks should not be used as toilets. Then sewage water or other dirt should not be discarded in rivers. Then fourth and last number point is, liquid and chemical waste of factories and industries should not be discarded in river or any other water bodies. So students, these many steps we can take to keep our rivers clean. Students, after this question and answer, you have to observe another picture. So students, what can you see in this picture? So students, here you can see some tall buildings, one factory is there, and you can find that there are very few fish in this sea. So students, all these things you can observe in this picture. You can observe tall buildings, factories, sea, very few, means only 2 or 3 fish are there. So students, by observing this picture, you have to give the answer of the questions. Students, this is a picture of a sea. So, the first question is, have you ever been near any river or a sea? When? Last vacation, we visited Somnath. We had gone to the beach there. Students, as you know that in Somnath there is a sea and there is also a beach. Apart from this, when we had gone to Nareshwar for a picnic, we had gone to the banks of river Narmada and had bathed in the river water. So students, as you know that in Somnath, near Somnath, you can see a sea, and in the Nareshwar there is a Narmada river. So you can, if you have visited both places, so you can also observe the sea and a river. Students, the last question is the water from the sea drinkable? So students, do we drink the water of sea? So the answer is no. Why? The water from the sea is not drinkable because it is very salty. It is very salty. Sand and other many types of salts are mixed in it. So students, why is the sea water not drinkable? Because the water is salty and there are many types of salt and many types of sand are there in the sea water. That is why it is not drinkable. Students, let us look at the answer again. Have you ever been near a river or sea? When? So students, the answer is in the last vacation when we visited Somnath. We had gone to the beach there. Apart from this, when we had gone to Nareshwar for a picnic, we had gone to the banks of river Narmada and had bathed in the river there. The students, last number question is the water from the sea drinkable? Can we drink the water of the sea? So the answer is no. The water from the sea is not drinkable because it is very salty. Sand and many types of salts are mixed in it. That is why we cannot drink the water of sea. So students, here are the answers of question number 6 and 7. I hope you have understood it. So students, with this is the end of the video. In this video, we have seen the journey of a river. When the river starts from the mountain and it finally meets to the sea. During the journey, there are lots of changes in the river water. So students, this is the end of this video. I hope you have understood and you will write the worksheet. So students, thank you.